Welcome back, everyone, to the W Sports Podcast. We are bringing you all your fantasy football advice for, I believe, this is week 7, which is wild already. And we also have some MLB playoff updates, maybe even some World Series predictions. But Tubby, welcome back to the show, man.
Boy, if you guys are listening, you're going to want to listen good because we have been pretty spot on with a lot of this fantasy starting and sit-ems the last couple weeks.
I feel pretty good about it. Does that also reflect in your fantasy football team's performance, Tubby?
Yes.
See, the same thing over here. I'm excited about it. So, thank you guys again so much for joining the show and listening, subscribing to the show. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's the best way. It's actually the only way that you can qualify for our October signed NFL jersey giveaway. So, make sure you subscribe to the show. And if you've been subbed and you want to make sure that you're subbed, hit it again if you haven't already. No, I'm just kidding. You've already subbed once. That's all you got. That's all it takes. It's just one entry. We're not even asking you to do one a day or anything. So,
No, but that's all we're asking. It's just hit that subscribe button. That's all you got to do right now.
That's all you got to do. We're on the road to 300 subs, which is crazy. So thank you guys so much for already subbing. We really appreciate that. Today, we're going to jump in with some fantasy football advice, Tubby. We are only 2 bye weeks this week. Thank goodness the Cowboys are
Yeah.
off so they can attend to those wounds that they have. And I think the Bears are the other team. So
Yeah.
it's Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott's. Those are some of the big ones that are out. But let's start with quarterbacks. That's the best place because it's a very important position. We're going to go with a QB that is in the top 12 that you're not really feeling this week.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
The fact that he's up that high right now with the way he's played against a really good secondary for the Patriots makes no sense whatsoever to me right now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that one. The other one I liked. Where did it go? My goodness, was Kyler Murray. I know he's playing the Chargers, who aren't great, but I think the Chargers, the way they play the game right now, is so ball control that I think it's
Yeah.
going to limit the opportunities they have. I'm also not sure if Harrison has finished his concussion protocol, and
As
from
of
what
right
we've
now, no.
yeah, and what we've seen is previous years there's a good chance they'd play, but this year even Malik Neighbors is a great example that
Yeah.
it doesn't look like they play that first week. So I think it's just going to be a little bit more limiting for what he can do. Give me a guy outside maybe the top 12 that you would consider moving in place of these guys.
Yeah, the fact that we have, I mean, I think there's two that are glaring. I think you can take either one, and they're both in the same game. Is the fact that Jordan Love and CJ Stroud are that far down. I pick Love because like I said, I think this offense is clicking right now, and they're finding something. And Jordan Love is just scoring up fantasy points the last few weeks.
Yeah, if Jordan Love isn't it, if he is on the bench or if he's on the free agent somehow, make sure you start him. He's a must start. I have him in 2 leagues because I believe
Yeah.
Tubby when he hit for he's in draft season. I was like, I love him, and thank goodness I listened to Tubby's advice that it wasn't Christian Watson, it wasn't what's his face,
Romeo Dobbs.
Romeo Dobbs. It was 100% Reed, and it has absolutely been carrying my team when they've been
Yep.
healthy. So the guy I'm going to do is Drake May. I know rookie second game. What are you thinking? They're playing against a Jacksonville team who's absolutely given up on the season already at 1-5. Their head coach doesn't even want to be there anymore. I think he has a couple of touchdowns. Maybe he even is able to run the ball a little bit. We've seen him do that. And has a productive day. So especially if maybe you do have Dak and Caleb Williams and you're like, oh, what do? I do like Drake May in that one. And also, I'm just going to throw this out there, possibly Daniel Jones. Just
I
keeps on
agree
doing
on the Drake May. I don't know if you can see it up in that corner.
Drake May. I do see that. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty solid. Okay, there you go. Just gotta listen. All right, let's move on to running backs, Tubby. We're gonna start with a guy that ranked in the top 24 that you're not feeling good about, and obviously injuries are going to be taken into consideration. But anyway, who we got?
Yeah, I mean, right now Aaron Jones is sitting at questionable, but if he plays, I'm not playing him. Detroit's defense has been really stingy against the run, and I don't like him coming off the bye, not having to play, haven't played a couple weeks. I think there'll be a little bit of rust, and like I said, Detroit's defense is super stingy right now against the run. This is not a team, running back I want to play right now.
Yeah, I feel like I went a little high. So one, I could say Tony Pollard. I'm just not I don't like it that much. I don't like it. But the one I really am just don't start right now is Devon Achon or Achan,
Yeah.
however you want to say it. Dude has 2 touchdowns so far this year. Last year, I think he had 11 for the whole season. They are not explosive. He's only averaging. This guy who's supposed to be shotgun. I mean, like just shoot him out of a cannon. He's going to go score a touchdown. He's going to break one free. His longest run of the year. Do you know what it is?
Huh.
17 yards, and he's averaging 3.3 yards a carry. I don't know why he's still ranked so high. I think it's because he does have that home run ability, but we just haven't seen it this year, and I
Yeah.
don't see it this weekend.
No, he's really the only offensive weapon that they can really consistently try to get the ball to because of the quarterback situation right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, give me a starting, maybe a sleeper that's out there outside the top 24 that you're sneaking in the lineup somewhere.
I'm gonna go with the guy that we'll see if he plays. He is questionable, but Bucky Irving. I think that they have found their guy. Rashad White last year, yeah, fantasy wise, he was really good, but he wasn't super efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky Irving has shown that he's a little bit more efficient, and I think that they're liking that more. And we have seen him, with the White injury last week, him, really kind of break out and have a really good game. I think that they're going to try to incorporate him more into the game, and that Rashad White's touches are going to start going down.
Yeah, I did. That was my original pick was Bucky Irving, so I'm going to move on past that. Uh, I I want. I feel like I want to say, like I don't know, man. I wanted to say Tyler Algier, but we've seen the healthier report. It looks like Bijan's going to be okay to play this
Yeah.
weekend, but but I'm tempted because last week was such a good game. But at the same time, that again,
Yeah.
Carolina's defense is terrible.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, I also am tempted to say Nick Chubb because he's going to play, but his
Yeah.
quarterback is still Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I almost said Nick Chubb also,
Yeah.
just because I think another interesting one is Dearness Johnson for the
Mm-hmm.
Jags. He's projected about 9 points right now. He looked, outside of the big run from Tank last week,
Yeah.
he looked more efficient than Tank running the football. And so
Yeah.
maybe if they go with, who's the hotter guy, because it doesn't sound like Etienne's playing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Dearness is be able to, stay on the field a little
Yeah.
bit more,
Yeah.
and then maybe steal some from Tank a little bit.
Yeah. And I will say I am on board with Austin Eckler. The way he does out of the backfield,
Yeah.
catching the ball. Go ahead. So if you ask me to give a hard stance on the sleeper, that's my guy. He's technically, I think, 27th right now, which seems
Yeah.
low in the
Mm-hmm.
PPR, but that's what I got. So,
Yep.
all right, let's move on to wide receivers. Tubby, who do you got?
Yeah.
Don't start.
So I've used Garrett Wilson a lot this year, so I'm not going to say that, but I'm just going to give you, going forward, this is a guy that I am super worried about. And a big part of it is I know people are like, oh, well, Devontae there is going to open him up more. That's not the way Aaron Rodgers plays. He's going to look at Devontae Adams as much as he can and try to feed Devontae Adams the ball a lot. So I'm not going to say Garrett Wilson this week, even though I want to. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs versus the Packers, because I think Jair Alexander will shadow him most of the game. And Jair has done a really good job at stopping these big receivers this year when he's healthy and on the field. So I think Stephon Diggs isn't going to quite get the numbers that he's projected, and maybe look towards Tank Dell to do what he did again last week.
Yeah, this is gonna almost feel like James is cheating here. I'm not. We talked about it already. Marvin Harrison. If you're bored, like I just don't see him playing, and if he does, one
Yeah.
hit, he's out. So I would stay away from that. The other one was Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
That it's a mess there. Vegas is
Mhm.
clearly going to go after quarterback this year in the draft.
Yep.
I don't know who they're going to get yet because it doesn't look like it's a great quarterback class outside of Shedeur Sanders, but
Yep.
that's who I have. Who do you have as maybe a sneak in there instead?
I'm going to go with the guy like Wan'Dale Robinson against Philly. Yes, Neighbors is playing this week, but we have seen both of them have really productive games together, and he's been targeted quite a bit this year. Target share is up between those two. It's pretty much, you split it down the middle. Those two are going to be the guys that he goes to. Give me Wan'Dale Robinson against that poor Philly defense.
Yeah, no, I do like that one too. Give me, I think he's on the brink of starting something for a big year, and he's a big play guy. He hasn't been a high receptions guy, but give me Jamison Williams. I really
Yeah.
like him this week. And somehow I think he's in the 40s, 30s, or 40s, depending on what you're looking at. Him and Xavier Worthy, I'm a little more worried about Xavier Worthy getting that
Mm-hmm.
open play because there's some
Yeah.
games they just aren't looking at. But he also has the rushing upside. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, all that said, give me Jamison Williams.
I like that. I think Jameson Williams. Yeah, I think his fantasy value is about to go up a lot.
Yeah, I like him. All right, so let's talk some MLB baseball. MLB
Woohoo!
baseball sounds stupid the way I said it. Sorry, everybody. Let's talk some playoff baseball. There we go. That's better.
There we go.
We have what I love is a couple like 2 weeks ago we talked about the potential for some really small markets to be in the World Series and how MLB would just hate that.
Yeah.
But Tubby, I would imagine you would agree that this playoffs has been a very, very good, if not great, playoff stretch. Correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Walk-offs, great games, just stars everywhere. It seems like,
Yeah.
except in Cleveland, not a whole lot of stars there. Um, that said, MLB is about to get their dreams come true.
Yeah,
It's what it
it's
looks
looking
like.
very realistic that's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I think in a dream world, it would be LA versus the Yankees. They would
Hmm.
absolutely be drooling over themselves. They would say, like, look at this. We've been waiting for this. Now, it hasn't happened yet. And I do think Subway Series is cool, but it doesn't draw the same thing that the Dodgers do. And
Yeah.
they're Cleveland is a cool team, underdog. They haven't won since I think 1954, but
Yeah.
give me the Yankees. So, all right, it's 2-1 Yankees. They're playing tonight as we record, so that game will be decided. And we had the Dodgers 3-1 right now, leading the Mets going into their final game as we record as well yesterday.
Mhm.
So, how are you feeling as a Dodger fan?
I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I mean, we got Jack Flaherty pitching today
Dude, I'm
or
so
this
frustrated.
afternoon. Yeah, Flaherty looked great. Game one, 7 innings. Absolute just pitched a gem of a game. The Dodgers offense right now is hard to stop.
Locked in.
Yeah, everyone 1 through 9 right now is pretty locked in. Uh, Even people were worried about Shohei at 1 point 0 for 22 when bases are empty, but then he was 7 for 9 when he had runners on. So I mean, I'll take the 7 for 9 with runners on just because I know more than likely he's driving in some runs there. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that surprisingly the pitching has looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Yamamoto has looked really good for the most part, besides the one bad game against the Padres. Since
Mm-hmm.
then, those last two starts, he's looked really solid. Walker Buehler showed something that we've been hoping for the last 2 years as Dodgers fans to see Walker come back, and he looked like he's starting to figure things out a little bit more. And
Mm-hmm.
especially in that start against the Mets, he had more swing and miss than he had combined through any starts this year.
Mm-hmm.
His in that one game. So I think the Dodgers are definitely trending upwards compared to what we thought could happen going into the playoffs.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's super frustrating. You texted me the other day. Tommy Edman looks great.
Boy,
Jack Flaherty looks great. Lane Thomas is the best player on the Cleveland Guardians. You're just telling me a bunch of these Cardinals. It's fine. Whatever.
so what are you trying to hint at? Hey, Cardinals, what are we doing?
Bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
I can't take this in my life. At least the Chiefs are good. The Royals look like they're on the right path, but the Cardinals and
Boy.
the Sooner, well, we're gonna
Yeah.
go down that way. So what's weird is I'm a huge Cardinal fan. Of course, I love the Royals, but I do love the Yankees, and I would
Yeah.
love to see because I think it's an incredible fan like atmosphere, Yankee Stadium,
Mhm.
all the legendariness to it, and Aaron Judge he's showed up in this series. Flat out, Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton. Right now, that middle of the order is locked in as well. They still
Yeah.
have Jazz Chisholm, who's not been great, but he has the potential. Birdie has been a really good defensive person the player over at first base. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just saying. And here's the key. I know it's 2-1, and I don't know if Cleveland wins
Yeah.
this game. But when you look at this, if we would have said, "Hey, Emmanuel Clase is going to blow multiple saves," and how many runs has he given up in the postseason? Do you know?
6.
Six. He's already more. He only has 6 innings pitched,
Yeah.
and he's given up 3 home runs.
Hmm.
To me, he only has 6 strikeouts, which is about on par for his normal rate, actually, which
Yeah.
is one of those things. I don't know. I think that the Yankees have seen him well. They have
Hmm.
a good scouting report. And I think it's going to be hard. They're not down 3-1 yet, but
Yeah.
it's a hard one for Cleveland to be able to fight their way back into. Can they do it? Yes, but I'm
Hmm.
still leaning. It looks like it's Dodgers and Yankees. Is if you were asking me to pick which is unfair
Yeah.
because the series is already a couple of games into it. But
Yeah.
that's what we got.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Class A, I don't know if it's just the lights are a little too bright for him right now, but he had given up 5 earned runs all season, and he's
Mm-hmm.
given up 6 in 6 innings. I think it has to be a little worse for the Guardians going, well, we don't have our shutdown closer right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have leads, can we count on him to close out the games, especially if they're close,
Mm-hmm.
to, potentially push us to the World Series? I don't know if that's the case right now. Yeah, you never know. He could flip a switch today and,
Pretty fine.
be, classic Emmanuel Clase. But like you said, the Yankees are seeing him very well right now. The Guardians got lucky; they pulled out that win last night. After he
Mm-hmm.
blew it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
still think it's going to be Yankees Dodgers, but you never know. Guardians could get hot, and maybe that game is the catapult to the momentum towards the World Series. I doubt it,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Yeah. And you know what has been great though in the ALCS?
What's that?
It's cold. Even in
Yeah,
part of the NLCS, it's cold. They're wearing hoodie. You can see there, dude. October baseball. There's
yeah,
nothing else like it. There's nothing else like October baseball. The intensity, the emotion, the big moments are massive. Having walk-off home runs, dude. There's just nothing like it,
absolutely. And then that's something that NFL needs to take into consideration when they decide to build domes.
dude.
Look at baseball. Come
Yeah,
on now. If they can go out there and swing a wood bat and have their hands break in half every time they hit it off the knob because it's so cold,
yeah.
you can take a hit in the cold. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful. That's why I love it. I'm looking forward to watching a lot of baseball today and this weekend. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys again, everyone, for showing up for the podcast today. Thanks for downloading and subscribing to the show. We're excited because we're going to have a recap of all things football and even a little bit of baseball tidbits as we head into the beginning of next week. So, if you haven't already,
Mhm.
make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode, so you can stay in the loop because Tubby, they just got to listen.
Just got to listen.
That's right. See y'all next time.
See ya.